What's going on, everybody? This is Jesse here at Bay Boy Views. So today we're going to be continuing on with the book The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Today we're on chapter 9. If you guys want to go ahead and get caught up, you can see the rest of the videos right there in my profile. So let's go ahead and get started right now. Law number 9, the law of repression. Confront your dark side. So repression, your dark side, definitely something that you would want to repress would be the dark intentions that you have towards somebody, or the dark ideas that you have in general. You know, we all have a dark side. We all hide our intentions that might be bad to save face and be liked by the group. Okay, so here's a couple of examples of the type of people or the type of things that you would be looking out for when we're talking about your dark side here, right? So a person that preaches the rules and ends up breaking them themselves, right? This is contradictory behavior. So I'm sure we've all had something like that, or we can imagine that, you know, some priest that preaches the gospel and ends up, you know, drinking and smoking on the weekend. A person who loses self-control when emotional. Yikes. Over idealization, uses a good cause in a bad manner. Yes, 100%. Accidental behavior. So the person that would get drunk and start spilling their guts about how they feel about you or how they feel about other people. Projection. Blame someone of wanting sex, money, and power when they are the ones wanting it themselves. A cool thing about that, I feel like if somebody is objectively looking at you in that type of light, that either they've gone through an experience like that or that's how they feel themselves. So here are a couple of masks or empathetic traits that we can see on, you know, just normal people or in yourself. All right, so number 1, the tough guy. The tough guy is a person that will cover up the fact that they enjoy being soft. All right. I think the biggest example I can think of is like Terry Crews, and, you know, from White Girls, and, you know, he's this big tough black buff dude, and, you know, he's picking up his date and he's like, making my way downtown, walking fast. That's super funny. Number 2, the saint. When given power, would abuse it. So somebody that has saintly qualities or projects themselves as, you know, a saint, and when given power, and instead of being that person, they end up turning around on you or anybody and ends up using it. So the fanatic. So somebody with an impressive drive, dedication, but does not commit, fails to deliver. Snake oil salesman, right? Somebody that'll sell you a dream. Number 4, passive aggressive charmer. Over nice, but will gossip behind your back. Ladies. Nah, I'm just playing. Anybody can be like that. But number 5, rigid rationalists. Rigid rationalists. Hates irrationality and will bully anybody that they deem to be below them in knowledge. I'm sure we've all been around arrogant people that, you know, would swear up and down that we're beneath them. So just so you know, it's a dark side trait. A snob, afraid to be humble. Afraid to be seen as less than that, the assumed superiority. So somebody that is afraid to be humble, somebody that's afraid to be seen less than, and somebody that will show you to your face that I'm better than you. Snob. Number 7, extreme entrepreneur. Attention to detail and values independence, but won't listen to others or delegate poorly. won't want other people to take care of them. So the book actually outlines these really great. Show your shadow proudly. It's your friend, and when you are being offended or around people with bad intentions. All right? So show your shadow proudly. It's your friend. It's your friend when you are being offended or around people with bad intentions. Definitely, definitely. You should always have your guard up. I feel like for men, it's a lot easier because we kind of live with that, we know that there's some type of danger if we kind of get out of line, because we end up punishing each other physically, where in turn, I believe women kind of bashed another girl. Whether it's bashing them like, oh, you're a whore, or talking trash about them to their inner groups. We're all aggressive, just in different natures. So the more you repress your shadow, the darker and uglier it becomes. Definitely. I definitely see that. I feel like that's where we get a lot of these like mass shooters, and because when you see their manifestos and when you see what their mindset is about, it's total annihilation of the whole game, the whole Monopoly board. They just want to flip it over and start new from a different standpoint, because they feel like everything else is against them. See the shadow. So here's a couple of questions that you can ask yourself, so you can psychoanalyze yourself and to reflect on where you're at in life. So what makes you touchy and insecure? So for me, what made me insecure, when I was in middle school, just graduating middle school, I was pushing about 220 pounds. All right. And I was a pretty big kid at a young age, and over time it did mess with me. And that was probably one of my biggest insecurities my entire life. I wouldn't say that to this day I'm like over it. I feel like I always kind of catch myself looking in the mirror and like, damn. Something that makes me touchy, I feel like the biggest pet peeve that I have about this is somebody that just cuts me off completely. Somebody that, I'm legitimately in the middle of a sentence and, oh, squirrel. Bro. What causes your shadow to show? What are you trying to hide? So if you're repressing something, your shadow is a representation of repression, something that you don't want to come to the light. So what causes it to show? Like I said, for me would be I guess I'm more of a rigid rationalist, if I was honest with myself. And when things don't add up, or goes against my train of thought, I instantly have to say something about it, or I instantly feel obligated to correct you. And I feel that most people find that offensive, especially now that I'm grown and I have relationships with people, and they just kind of come up and tell me. But something that, what are you trying to hide? That's a good question, honestly. I have to do a little bit more thinking on that. What am I trying to hide? Maybe my passive aggressiveness is something that I'm trying to hide, of my, like, maybe an outburst of anger. And I feel like repressing that anger in me can, cause me to, be a little bit more, blow up more on people, I believe. And ill-intentionally. I think, since I'm such a quiet guy, that when I blow up, it's, like the whole world's ending type thing. So embrace your shadow. It's a part of your personality. Explore your dark impulses and animal-like nature. So that does not mean go out and start hitting, I mean, if you can, but don't start going out and smashing everything in sight. This is not what that means. It means be more in tune with the things that trigger it and realize it, and then make cognitive decisions about, is this a good thing or is it a bad thing? And if it's a good thing, then pursue it. And if it's a super bad thing, you know, you gotta have to drop that. So play with your dark ideas and put that energy into your work. So I feel like for me, my dark ideas would be, you know, the fact that I felt like I was always fat. And, you know, even when I lost the weight. So that would mean, like, when I was fat, I always had that, you know, mentality is like, oh, I'm huge. Like, you know what I mean? I got to lose this weight. I feel insecure. I feel all that. And, you know, the minute that I got into high school, I found, you know, a good sport. I went into wrestling, and I started instantly, just hopped on board. You know, it was everybody was saying it was like the hardest sport, but it's going to make you lose all the weight. I was like, cool. In 1 year, from, you know, being a freshman at 220, coming in next year as a sophomore at 155. It's crazy. You just see the pictures. Use your shadow when people get in your way. Definitely don't be a person to get walked over. Respect your own opinions more. Be more assertive and compromise less. Definitely. You know, in this life, I feel like there's always compromise in everything. When you're allowed to be selfish, be selfish. I don't see it as a bad thing. I don't see being selfish as a bad thing. I feel that not compromising is a bad thing. I feel that, you know, other people imposing that you should feel this way is a bad thing. But being assertive in something that you know you like, and, you know, plan to, you know, go after it, I recommend that you do. Care less of what people think about you. All right? So hopefully everybody got a little bit of a knowledge from this video. If you could, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. We'll be catching you guys on the next one. Peace.